I don't know, semi-unexpected, I guess, because obviously, RiuT is an incredibly fast player. But anyway, the home map now of 8th Wonder, and this is game number 2 in the Platinum League between 8th Wonder and RiuT, round 1. And I'm looking forward to seeing how this one goes down. And I think, like I said, an interesting choice from 8th Wonder here, that he's chosen to play Arabia. And I'm pretty sure this is just, a standard Arabia. I was going to say, if it's dry Arabia, that's technically not allowed, since the home map pool consists of all of the standard maps in AOC, excluding Nomads. So there's no Nomad starts in the home map pool, effectively. But anyway, up to the north of the map, the Defender, not the Defender, what am I talking about? 8th Wonder is up to the north of the map, and he's playing in the red as the Aztecs. I was going to say, like, the Defender, what I was trying to say is he is down by a point, so he's going to try now his best. He's on his home map. This is the one he needs to win to bring the scores level to 1-1. Now, down to the southwest of the map, in the blue, we've got RiuT, and RiuT is also playing as the Aztecs here, which is interesting, because both civs were chosen independently of one another. Both civs were chosen in private, in hidden civ format, which means that the other player, or RiuT, didn't know what 8th Wonder chose, and 8th Wonder didn't know what RiuT chose. So, kind of just to prove a point here that Aztecs are incredibly strong on this map. And, yeah, I mean, they are incredibly strong. And obviously, their drush is what sets them apart from a lot of other civs in the early game. And I expect we will see a drush from both players here. But what we'll do is take a good look at each player's map. Obviously, they have up to 5 minutes to call a restart. And we'll have to see if either of them wants to go for a restart here, based on what their map looks like and all of that good stuff. Now, it seems like neither of these guys are set on stealing anything, since both of the scouts are at the moment staying at home, though RiuT just leaving his base now. If you start stealing a boar before 5 minutes time, then 8th Wonder might decide to call for a re. What he's doing is luring the deer in towards his TC, or at least one deer in towards his TC, and now moving out. So the chances of seeing an actual boar steal may be low, but RiuT seems like he's on a direct path to find that boar there, and if he does indeed go for a steal before the 5-minute mark, then 8th Wonder may very well call for a restart. But at the moment, it doesn't look like he's going to find it, as the eagle comes off to the right side, and that boar will stay hidden, and maybe 8th Wonder will successfully be able to lure it without it being stolen. 8th Wonder also on the prowl, though. His scout heading out right now and looking for the second boar of RiuT, but I think it's going to be very unlikely here that he will, maybe he will actually be able to take it. We'll see. That scout's got to come right the way to the back, though. 8th Wonder, though, going to have his boar stolen, and that can really come at a worse time, could it? 16 minutes after the restart time, and he's going to have to deal with that and suck it up. He's going to have to go and try and find... You have to try and find RiuT's boar right now. And in the chat, 8th Wonder calling RiuT a try-hard. Well, that's pretty worrying for 8th Wonder, to be honest with you, because we already saw in the first game how dominant RiuT was. And now RiuT, of course, maybe going to get 3 boar in this game. 8th Wonder going to try and lame this eagle, though. He's going to try and stop this. He's going to try and stop this boar going away. RiuT says peace, and I think... probably going to regret typing that in the chat. I don't know if he actually meant this, but he typed peace in the chat, and while he was typing it, he messed up the boar lure because, well, 8th Wonder got in the way. So the boar's going to go back, and he will successfully take his boar after all, which is damn good for him, because otherwise he would have been in a lot of trouble. Second boar coming in for RiuT now, though, and obviously the timing on this second boar for 8th Wonder will be quite a lot later, which is... not always ideal when you're trying to drush, but he's obviously going to have plenty of food here for now. The drush from 8th Wonder probably going to be coming in at about the same time as RiuT, regardless of all the funny business that's been going on. But good job that he kept his boar, to be honest with you, because I really didn't want to see him go, down a boar at this kind of stage of the tournament. Obviously, there's no rule against laming in this event, so laming is... all good in the hood if you can pull it off, but obviously we want to make sure that we want to see good games, and I think if RiuT had that third boar, might have been a little bit tipped too far in his favor for 8th Wonder to pull it back. But who am I to talk? He's obviously going to be showing us what he's made of in these series of games. So anyway, we're going to have a quick look at these guys' maps here, because to be honest with you, 8th Wonder's map is pretty interesting. I mean, he's got this massive wood line across the front. It's huge, and it might actually make for some pretty easy walling. He could wall between here, and he's already started walling out this left-hand side, and he's got this like real nice kind of arc almost of fortification across the front. Well, I guess by fortification I mean some houses and some trees, but it does the job, and he's closing this gap right about now. This gold safely tucked away behind here, and although he's gone for this wood on the front, which can be attacked by archers over this wood line later on, he still has got wood on the back, and I think his map looks fairly decent, to be honest with you. There's nothing like way out on the front that he has to defend, and he can now, I think, kind of play this game however he really wishes. RiuT kind of walling out in front of his gold at the moment, and that gold is on a hill. It's kind of awkward, but it's not too far from his TC. It's going to be an easy wall between these two tree lines, and if the worst comes to the worst, he can tower this as well. But obviously it is on the front. It's a little less than ideal, but to be honest with you, I don't think it's going to have too much impact overall. This wood line is not so nice, actually. But, I mean, he could wall across here in a minute and keep it safer by doing that. But it is fairly far from the town center. It's fairly exposed way out on that left-hand side there. Anyway, RiuT's coming in with the Drush, and 8th Wonder spotted that out with his Eagle Warrior there. His own Drush is nearly complete, but he's only managed to get 4 militia out so far. But just have a look at the timing on this feudal age for 8th Wonder here. Really interesting, because right now Man-at-Arms coming in, and I think this is a fantastic decision for him to make. 4 militia, Man-at-Arms coming in, and obviously RiuT needs to chase this army down because he knows that Man-at-Arms is likely coming in right now, and he's obviously got to go and defend his base. RiuT, I think it would be a little risky to try and do a counter-attack here. He could pull it off, but it would be risky to do, and since there's Man-at-Arms now heading to his base, he's going to quickly try and wall this up and keep this aggression away. On the front, though, a forward archery range from 8th Wonder. I love to see forward aggression. It's one of my favorite things to see in this game, so great stuff from him, and a watchtower coming up on this barracks as well, which means that if he manages to get this up, he'll be able to cover that gold. But in comes RiuT now on the back, and obviously, he's going to be forced right away, as 8th Wonder has the hill advantage, he's got the tech advantage, and those militia there are basically dead if they fight downhill, I mean uphill. But in this situation, if he turns around, he'll be fighting downhill, but it's still not worth engaging that, no chance, and that tower will successfully go up. This gold pile will be successfully pushed back, and unless RiuT is able to completely wall this off, I think fast castling would be very risky. If you have a look at his population, if you have a look at his resources, it does look like a semi-fast castle build here. A kind of typical build for a Drush fast castle. But will fast castling be too risky? I most certainly would say yes, since there are now archers in his economy, and these villages are no longer safe just behind a couple of walls. So archery range coming up. A blacksmith would be coming up next if he's trying to fast castle it. A second archery range if he realizes that, yeah, I'm going to have to play from the feudal age here. Man-at-Arms, though, is now coming in, and that means that he's going to have 1 more Man-at-Arms than 8th Wonder, but 8th Wonder does have more HP, and he's, of course, got archers in here as well for a little bit of additional damage in here. This tower, though, pretty interesting. He's not actually attacking any villagers, which is kind of weird. I'm really very surprised at that. He could have garrisoned it, he could have done more, but you know what? He's going to go put up another tower anyway. So this is really kind of nice aggressive on the front. These villagers getting a little bit of damage on them. In fact, RiuT's going to lose a villager if 8th Wonder is paying enough attention to actually micro that tower. He's trying to pressure this back wood line as well. Like I said earlier on, it's not the nicest wood line in the world for RiuT here. Down goes 1 man-at-arm for each and another for RiuT. Oh goodness me, that's not too nice, is it? Wow, Scum getting absolutely manhandled there. Man-at-Arms going down all over the place, and these archers very nicely micromanaged for the time being. A couple of skirms out, though, for RiuT, making it very easy for him to push the archers away for now, and maybe we'll see some skirms coming out from 8th Wonder here as well in a minute. But right now, I'm loving this aggression from him. He's got great map control. He's actually doing quite a bit of damage in here as well, and he's actually 1 villager ahead at the moment also. Got to be a little careful now, though. Scams out for RiuT. He can regain map control very quickly, and that could end up going pretty badly if RiuT kills a bunch of 8th Wonder's archers here. Second range coming up, blacksmith coming up, and 8th Wonder right now. Let's have a look at how many farmers he's got. He's actually got quite a few farmers out at the moment. Obviously, Aztecs do have great food economy, so, you know, with a couple more farms here, if he keeps this up, he's not even going to be that far from the castle age as well. You'll notice that food income there is going to start pulling ahead now. RiuT doing wheelbarrow though, and I'm pretty sure that 8th Wonder has not done wheelbarrow yet, though if he has, then that would be insane, but I highly doubt it since he's already ahead in villager count, and he's not killed too many villagers yet. Anyway, this tower from RiuT definitely helping to keep 8th Wonder out from attacking this area, and of course this leaves the skirms free to defend the left flank if they like. Still though, not seeing that, oh there it is, second archery range from RiuT. So yeah, he went for the second archery range first, and of course now putting up his blacksmith for fletching, since he doesn't want to engage really without that upgrade done when your opponent has it under their belt. But so far this is looking really good for 8th Wonder at the moment. And he's still putting up more towers on the front. And at this point, you know, I'm starting to wonder if these 4 villagers on stone are really worth it. I mean, he's definitely going to be trying to keep RiuT away from this gold, and he can do that by continuing to tower this up. But 1 tower is probably enough for now, and continuing to take 4 villagers on stone and have 3 idle in the tower, it's probably not the best use of villager time, because he's not really pushing in with more towers. He's not done one on the back of this wood line, for instance, which means now RiuT able to take the gold on the left side, and 8th Wonder is at the moment completely unaware of that. He doesn't actually have information either that the gold is there, so he's not going to really have much of a clue. And oh no, in the berry line, down goes 1 villager for him, closing the gap very, very swiftly here, and another villager about to go down as well. Forced, of course, away from the berries, away from this this stone pile. But 8th Wonder now up to the castle age, and expected, really expected. So at the moment, RiuT is a long way from castle. He's still making skirms 2 at a time, which is definitely going to make it awkward for 8th Wonder to engage, since, well, skirms, as we know, hard counter to archers. But at the same time, once the 8th Wonder reaches the castle age here, he might find himself in a situation that he could really gain some good momentum. If he can kill these skirms with, I don't know, 1 or 2 eagles, maybe a few more, that would be awesome. But mostly it's all about the crossbows, isn't it? Getting the crossbows out, trying to find villager kills, and keep RiuT on his toes. Could work very nicely. Also, bear in mind, crossbows with bodkin arrow. If you've got a little bit of nice micromanagement, you can deal with skirmishers pretty easily. Even though skirms counter archer units, crossbows with bodkin arrow versus fuel-age skirms, with 2 extra range, you can really utilize that to kill your opponent's skirmishers very quickly. With a little bit of back and forth micro, it can work nicely. Anyway, 8th Wonder at the moment continuing to make archers, of course, and that's a beautiful thing about this build. Doing so many archers like this, you can still get a fantastic castle time whilst doing so many archers. And you see now, RiuT seeding a bunch of farms. He knows that he's slow to castle in comparison. He knows he's going to have to try and get to castle soon, and so adding a lot of farms in. Is he overcompensating though? Well, maybe. We'll find out in good time, I suppose. But castle age now for 8th Wonder, and a great little timing here for RiuT to push out. He's actually going to catch a bunch of these archers off guard. Crossbow coming in for 8th Wonder, bodkin arrow coming in, but 3 archers already down. And until those upgrades are actually completed, he's not realistically going to be able to fight against these, or this army. So crossbow, bodkin arrow, and on the front a siege workshop. And I think that's the real one, the real killer, the mangonel here that's coming out. If he gets a couple of good mangonel shots, then this is going to be horrendous for RiuT, because that's going to be a lot of his army down. And pretty much the worst time you can lose your army is just before you reach the castle age and it's about to get upgraded. You know, like if you're about to upgrade your units and then they all get flattened by a mangonel shot, it's just like, damn, we gotta catch up here in military count. But anyway, good shot coming in. Oh, nice mangonel shot on the right side. That is gonna force RiuT away. RiuT's still gonna micro his way up this hill though, trying to avoid the mangonel shot and still kill a few crossbows on his way out. Not bad at all. And right now, 8th Wonder taking the KD lead, 24 kills to 19 deaths, as he utilizes this mangonel. now, gets a couple more archers, and he's in a fantastic position right now. There's still a few skirms out in the center of the map, prowling all over the place, but really, this Mangonel is absolutely killer in this situation. But look at this, RiuT on the left side, adding another barracks, and I said earlier, maybe overcompensating on the food. Well, maybe. But maybe that is because he wants to do some eagles, and with 3 barracks now, or 2 on the way, the 3rd being built in just a second, it certainly seems like eagles are on the agenda for RiuT in this situation. He's got a lot of food though, and he's going to need a lot more gold. The problem is in this situation for RiuT, since this gold here is so small compared to his main gold, he's actually going to struggle saturating that. At the moment, if you have a quick look at the number of villagers on gold, 8th Wonder has 18, RiuT has 13, and if he puts too many more on that gold, they're just going to end up bumping, and they're going to end up having a real hard time actually gathering effectively. So unless he can get his main gold back, eagles may be a little tough, but either way, he's going for it, and I think basically, because that Mangonel is there, eagles are one of the only things he can realistically do to ensure that the Mangonel goes down. Eagles coming out, he's got +1 defense here as well, and bodkin arrows coming in as well as crossbow for the archers here. It would be a shame not to upgrade them at this stage, but hey, he's coming in from the back. He's got some units on the right. He's making those eagles here, but he is going to disrupt this gold, and that's going to be pretty messy. 1 villager down, 2 villagers, surely 2 villagers down. He's going to micro away, and these villagers try and slip out the back exit, but they are going to get caught out. And oh no! Oh, whoa, RiuT, what's he doing? Building a house here to try and stop these crossbows getting out, but that's a lot of villagers down. And if 8th Wonder had chemistry, not chemistry, ballistics right now, that would be even more. So far, the Eagle Warrior is pretty ineffective, let's be honest, but 8th Wonder is incredibly trapped in this situation. He has to focus on taking the Eagles out. Down goes the Mangonel in just a second, and now he's trapped. Obviously, Scam's coming in from behind, but he is going to micro his way forwards. He's going to try and, well, I assumed he was going to micro his way forwards into these crossbows to try and take them out. But down goes the entirety of 8th Wonder's army, which is pretty big, but he did kill a bunch of villagers right there, and he is now 5 villagers ahead. Is that enough? Well, 5 villagers is not a small amount, and if he continues this 1 TC aggression, then it could work out really nicely for him. Obviously, RiuT's still only on the 1 TC as well, so this villager lead for now is going to be permanent unless RiuT does a counterattack over 8th Wonder's economy. But hey, with 2 Mangonels out on the field and enough crossbows to very easily get rid of these Eagle Warriors, this is looking pretty nice for 8th Wonder on the front here. So it's never a bad thing to have good map control and disrupt your opponent's gold income, that's for sure. Just look at the gold at 8th Wonder's coffers right now. He's got 800, I almost said 8,000, 800 gold. That's a lot of gold right there. And another village down for RiuT as 8th Wonder tries to prevent him from closing this gap. And of course, RiuT at the moment closing it up, but with 2 Mangonels, easily opened back up again, and he knows where he's got to apply the pressure, and he is doing just that. He's doing a really good job of it. RiuT though with a castle here, but again the problem is in this situation, if 8th Wonder pressures here, the gold goes down. No gold, not so many eagles available to you, and it really seems like RiuT here is trying to rush to get to the Imperial Age. He's taking a lot of stone on this right side. Maybe he's going to sell some of that. He's nearly got 1,000 food. He just needs 800 gold and he can go up to the Imperial Age. But just look at these idols. He's got 13 idle, 14, 15, 16, 17 idle villagers right now. Back down to 13. But with all those idols, with no access to gold, it's not going to be super easy to get to the Imperial Age, is it? And he'd like to take this gold back, I'm sure. Might end up selling some stone. Might end up putting another castle up in a minute. But 8th Wonder knows that he's got this game at the moment in the palm of his hand. He knows he's got RiuT in a really vulnerable situation, in a really vulnerable position. He just needs to take advantage of that and make sure, of course, his Mangonels don't die to this castle. But well played by 8th Wonder so far. And it looks like, once again, RiuT going to try and trap him in at the back. And safe to say he's kind of trapped in the corner here with this army coming in at the top and the castle being on the right hand side. But honestly, with these 2 Mangonels, I do think that if 8th Wonder hits a good couple of shots, he could take this army down pretty quickly. Not a great start though, losing quite a few crossbows there in that engagement. But if he can slip out and keep himself safe, That's all good in the hood. Still, another castle from RiuT, and he's getting super defensive now. I still think he's a little way off, but if he can take this gold back, if he can just take this gold, he's going to be in a great position. But what RiuT doesn't realize, there's actually a bunch of archers, but oh wait, Wonder's going back. Where's he going? The archers are going the wrong way. The castle is right here, and they can get a bunch of kills. This is not going to finish. 8th Wonder will kill 2 or 3 villagers for sure, and RiuT, is he going to force these villagers to finish the castle? Oh, he is. He's not even going to retreat away. He is going to say, get to work, slaves. Oh my gosh, not quite, but hey, look at that. Castle will go up, but how many villages is it gonna cost? Doing a fiage right there. Jeez, that was brutal. That was absolutely brutal. So many villagers on so little HP, and if 8th Wonder had not made that small mistake and gone back, maybe he could have killed 5 or 6 more as well. Would have been huge. Either way, RiuT's got that castle up now, but how many villagers behind is he? Well, at the moment, he's 20 villagers down, and 8th Wonder going up with his second, third TC on the way, and with those 3 TCs in place, he can defend himself a little better. But RiuT, it looks like he just really wants to play the metagame out here. It looks like he really wants to get Imp, and he really wants to get those Eagles out on the field, but still not enough gold for the time being, and market now only just coming up. I'm surprised. I thought he would do a market sooner, to be honest with you. Honestly, at this stage, it's hard to say. I think that the castle here is definitely going to stop 8th Wonder pushing in on the front. But he is losing so many villagers. With or without these castles, these villagers are going down. And that's another 3 on the stone there. You can't deny that having an ass economy is not the way forwards, but mistakes from both players, I suppose. 8th Wonder now only just getting wheelbarrow at 35 minutes, and he's probably wondering why is his food so low at this stage of the game with 400 food in the bank. It's not a lot considering he's the Aztecs, but he didn't have a market, wheelbarrow all this time. So RiuT's on the way up to Imp, but he's only on the way up with 43 villagers. 8th Wonder, well, since RiuT is on 1 TC and it's researching the Imperial Age upgrade, and 8th Wonder is on 3 TCs, which are all pumping out villagers, or, well, they were, until he stopped villager production to get to the Imperial Age. But either way, my point stands is that he is going to be nearly double the villager count of RiuT in just a moment. And he is requeuing villagers now. Yeah, obviously, just had a lapse in concentration. And you know what? He's not even on 3 TCs. Here's me looking in his base. He's actually on 5 TCs. How did I not even notice these ones on the front? My goodness, 5 TCs? That is a little overkill, perhaps. Doesn't really matter. He's on the way up to the Imperial Age. He's got double the villager count now. And RiuT now has a very small time frame. A very small time frame to make this work. He has about 2 minutes. 2 minutes to get Elite Eagle Warrior and raid this economy and kill the 40 villagers or thereabouts to pull this game back. If he doesn't manage to pull that off, then 8th Wonder has this game. If 8th Wonder can hold out and just get Imperial and start doing what am I trying to say? The Eagle Warriors himself, he's going to be fine. He could go for Jaguars even, but maybe not the best decision. Still, either way you look at it, RiuT here, up to the Imperial Age now, and he's got to get that aggression in. 8th Wonder doing Long Swordsman. Okay, so we know he's not going to do Eagles. He's going to go for Long Swords, and he's going to be prepared. You know, even if he's got only Long Swordsman now, at least he's going to have them ready, and he's going to have some out by the time RiuT is able to hit him. At that stage, he can, as soon as he hits him, upgrade to the two-handed swordsman, and then to the champion, of course. But still, with this castle being on the front, with 8th Wonder being in the back of RiuT's base, this is actually kind of nice because it means that 8th Wonder is keeping RiuT at home. And this eagle right here, probably going to die. In fact, it's pretty close. It looks like the eagle's going to go down, which means that instead of immediately counterattacking, instead of immediately getting over to 8th Wonder's economy and hurting his economy, instead of closing that villager gap, what is actually happening is, well, he's kind of had to deal with this in the back. He's kind of, well, grouping a few units on the front because there's still too much aggression here. And now he's just getting the Elite Eagles into 8th Wonder's economy. But it's too late. It's too slow. 8th Wonder up to the Imperial Age. Obviously, two-handed swordsman's going to be on the way in just a minute. There it is, immediately coming out. Long swordsman already on the field, and a few villagers going down. but 8th Wonder is still double the economy of RiuT right now. They're both in the Imperial Age, and RiuT has not done enough eco-harassment. I don't think he's got enough military units out just yet, but it's not over. Not yet. RiuT could still find the damage he needs. He could still find the villagers. He could still keep enough pressure onto 8th Wonder that he can actually catch up in economy and kill enough eco units. But 8th Wonder is more than prepared for this. Squires coming in for obviously the movement speed, plenty of long swords queued out. And the beauty about the long swordsman in a 1v1 is that, of course, they only cost 20 gold versus the 50 gold of an eagle warrior. So they are going to be more cost effective over time because they do cost less gold. And obviously that's just obvious. That's an obvious benefit to them. At the moment, dying quite quickly, and well, Eagle Warriors are very, very strong, regardless of how you look at it. But with two-handed swordsmen out and a lot more on the way, 8th Wonder, well, it seems like you can defend fairly well for the time being. Closing the gap slightly though. 8th Wonder here is closing that gap slowly but surely. 8th Wonder on the RiuT is closing that gap. Slowly but surely. On the front, 8th Wonder trying to attack this castle, and we got 3 trebs out for RiuT. That's very expensive. Spending 600 gold when you've got so little economy, and 600 wood when you've got so little economy, it's a big investment, and yeah, it's looking a little risky for RiuT at the moment. But like I say, it's not over yet. It's not over yet. So 8th Wonder here, two-handed swordsman in the back, but he is losing some villagers. Even with these two-handed swordsmen stationed around, some villagers are going down. And at the moment, I think 8th Wonder's priority is to try and push this on the front with these trebs, with this castle. But for now, he's not quite got enough trebs out, and he is kind of losing this treb war as well. So RiuT able to defend his economy for the time being, and like I said, it's ever so slowly but surely closing that gap in villager count here. But 8th Wonder now doing forging. You know, I think right now at this stage, a switch into eagles would be awesome for him. And the reason I say that is because he obviously does have a lot of food eco here. And if he was able to get a little bit more gold income, switching into eagles and then raiding would be fantastic, because he could go and hit RiuT right back. RiuT, meanwhile, doing jaguars though, and I kind of like that decision actually. Obviously, no elite upgrade yet, and probably not going to be an elite upgrade for a long while at this rate. But jaguars, hard counter, of course, to all infantry units, and that could be awesome. That could be awesome. The only downside is that he's kind of got to play pretty defensive with these guys. He's kind of got to sit back and let 8th Wonder come to him. And obviously RiuT, this game, if there's anything he's not had, is map control. At the moment, he's only got access to 2 gold piles. The one on the left is getting pretty low. His main gold's only really just been taken. But 8th Wonder, with so much map control here, can start taking those extra golds on the map, can start fortifying areas on the map with castles and things like that. Finding villagers on this wood line as well, not bad at all. And this is actually a really nice Aztec war. Like, a lot of Aztec wars end up being really kind of meta. They end up being really stale. But this one is really nice, and I love the fact that both players are playing a little differently to one another, which is cool. 8th Wonder going to try and collect up a relic here, but RiuT's going to intercept that monk pretty quickly. Anyway, champion coming in, Arbalest coming in, and RiuT doing elite jaguar warrior. He is sinking so much resource into this upgrade, into these trebs. And my concern at the moment is RiuT gonna have enough sheer numbers? Is he gonna have the numbers? It's all well and good having jaguars out. Yeah, that's fine. But is he gonna have the numbers? Because if he doesn't, he's investing so much food, so much gold into doing these upgrades. But he only has 20 military units. 8th Wonder has 43. He's done Arbalest. He's doing Champion. Both of which are relatively cheap, really. I mean, especially Champions on the gold. So, you know, Arbalest, hard counter to Jaguars, since they're a ranged unit. Champions, hard counter, well, not a hard counter, but a good cost-effective counter to Eagle Warriors. And at the moment, still holding down that map control, preventing the extra golds from being taken. I guess the only real win at the moment for RiuT is that he's pushed this castle away on the front. But let's see if he can manage to push back against 8th Wonder here, or will he get shut down? Well, the Arbalest obviously going to be hammering into these Jaguars at the moment, and, well, the champions are going to die pretty damn quickly. This is a fight that is going to basically determine whether or not RiuT stays in this game, and at the moment, it's looking pretty good for him. The Arbalest kind of getting caught out by the Eagles on the left side, and although 8th Wonder's microing away, the Jaguars going to win that one outright, and there you go. I need not have worried about the sheer numbers because RiuT made it work either way, and that was a really good fight for RiuT there. Now he's got a hill advantage, and there's more champions coming in from 8th Wonder, but champions are not the way to win this fight, not against Jaguars. No way, Jose. Down go the champions in a fit of fury as these Jaguars push forwards, and that's a great little move by RiuT there. Great time to push out, and he actually has now taken the military advantage. He's also just taken the score lead, so a great comeback from RiuT so far, and what we would hope to see from 8th Wonder now is more Arbalest, but in actual fact he doesn't have an archery range. He doesn't quite have the wood for an archery range, and even though he's still got nearly double the economy of RiuT here, these elite Jaguars cleaning house at the moment, and just champions from 8th Wonder. Which, you know, is a little bit of a shame, because champions are certainly not too strong. That's a little bit of an understatement. They are way not too strong against Jaguar Warriors. But still, 8th Wonder here with a good positioning. Bunch of castles on the hills and stuff. He's building more. But there's a lot of trebs out from RiuT as well. And these castles probably going to go down as quickly as they are built at this rate. 8th Wonder really needs something to deal with the Jags. Champions are not that thing, and Garland War's now just coming in for the final +4 attack. These guys are fully upgraded. They're looking pretty hench with 20 attack points versus the 14 of 8th Wonder here. Arbalest then, I expect we will see some more, but he is still not making any archery ranges. Finally, no, in fact, I was going to say finally an archery range, but no, it's just another barracks. And he seems really persistent in choosing the champion line. And you just see how quickly those champions melt away. Yeah, they're getting absolutely destroyed. Still, Jaguar's fighting under a castle here, taking quite a bit of damage from that castle, and well, 8th Wonder going to try and repair that to stop it from going down, but I think the Trebs are probably going to end up overpowering it. But the longer that 8th Wonder keeps these units fighting under the castle, the more he can kill. But the castle's gone anyway, and he's still making champs. Maybe he feels like Arbalest are too expensive right now, and that's for sure. I mean, Arbalests are going to be more expensive on the gold, and he doesn't have that much gold. He's now lost the gold on the left side. But maybe if he'd have done more earlier, he might not be in this position at all. But RiuT, fantastic play by him so far. And suddenly it looks like 8th Wonder is really on the back foot here as well. Still though, I mean, 120 vills for 8th Wonder, 75 for RiuT. It's amazing that he's not been able to kind of muster a little more than this, or maybe he has. And if we have a look at the KD, 179 for RiuT, 126 for 8th Wonder, so 8th Wonder just not trading well, and it doesn't matter if he's able to muster as many, all the units in the world. He's not trading too well. He's still missing some really important upgrades on these champions. He's still not got Garland Wars. He doesn't even have +2 attack yet, which is now, of course, on the way. But yeah, the champion's just not able to stand up to this at the moment, and with every minute that's kind of going by, RiuT's economy is sort of getting back in shape. Sort of catching up to him, sort of, I say, but Village is still going to cut down on his left side. RiuT seemingly not noticing as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 villagers get absolutely butchered. But this is taking time. It's taking time for 8th Wonder here to kind of sort things out, get these upgrades, get everything ready to go. And what's happening now is RiuT's pushing in with some vigor. Garland War's coming in though, and 8th Wonder here going to have +6, which is obviously very nice. Obviously, overall, he's going to go 13 +8 versus 12 +8. But you have to bear in mind that Jaguar Warriors do have an attack bonus against infantry. So there is no possible way that 8th Wonder can win this fight unless he engages with... there's no way he can win if he engages with even numbers. He has to get some kind of range maybe in here. But, even range, it is good. but these guys still have more melee. Sorry, yeah, they have more melee armor. They have 4 pierce armor still though, which is pretty high. Still pretty high. Right now, 8th Wonder is seemingly in a lot of trouble. Monastery coming up, I hear, but as that comes up, a lot of these barracks going down. Collecting up relics right now. Trying to make sure he's got more gold for the rest of this game. He's taking gold right on the left-hand side. Jaguar's coming in to raid it, though. Not going to end too well over there. And he's still got a few units patrolling on this right side on RiuT's gold as well, which is interesting. But I think all these villagers are going to go down. They've really got nowhere to run. And unless this monk comes out, then 8th Wonder cannot save these villagers' lives for a while. The problem is, 8th Wonder's housed. Why is he housed? Well, RiuT just cleaned out a bunch of his houses here. He's just destroyed, you know, a TC's destroyed these houses. 8th Wonder housed for a moment. And these villagers on this gold are all getting destroyed. There's 2 left. And when that monk comes out, the monk probably going to go down as well. Finally, another big fight in the center of the map. But how could this end well? How could this possibly end well for 8th Wonder? Look at the Jaguars tearing through those champion, and there's just nothing left there. Nothing at all. Blast Furnace now coming in, but he's so overwhelmed. That fight went so badly, and RiuT, 250 kills to 161 losses. He's nearly 2-1 in the KD. Well, not quite 2-1, but he's got 100 more kills, which is insane. And still, 8th Wonder's just chucking these champions at this. I mean, I don't get it. I don't get it. Alright, but he did win on this left-hand side. It's a small victory. He took down the, well, he took out a monk, converted one of the Jaguars, and won the day. But goodness me, I just don't know why he's continuing to make all these champions. I think the main reason is because of gold, the gold issue. Like, he won't have enough gold if he goes for Arbalest in this situation. But think about how much gold all these champions have cost him. All these champions that he keeps letting die over and over and over. He could have afforded quite a lot of Arbalest in that time. He could have even done Onager and tried to take these guys out with some Onagers if they're bunched up. Maybe not the best idea, but it's maybe a little better than doing champs, pure champs. Still though, I mean, he is still building up. He's still taking a lot of food at the back. Problem is, he's being raided by eagles now as well, and 8th Wonder here losing every scrap of map control that he once had. Thank you very much, by the way, to Bogus for resubscribing 3 months in a row. Thank you very much appreciated. But yeah, man, these Jaguars just protecting the Trebs just deploying time after time, killing everything. And it's almost as if since 8th Wonder lost that Treb war on the front, he's just had nothing to stop these trebuchets either. Slowly but surely, watching everything he's built up get destroyed. It's not too nice, is it? Still defending this monastery, which is nice. RiuT deleting his unit to stop 8th Wonder getting a conversion there. So, another monk out. Maybe he'll try to get some conversions. Nah, he won't. The Jaguar Warrior's just coming in and like one-shotting everything. Look at these villagers going down in 3 hits. Yeah, no problem. Sorted. Once again, another army of champions facing up against an army of Jaguars. Problem is, 8th Wonder doesn't even have as many champions. He's got 47 military versus the 65 of RiuT. And at the end of this fight, he's got, look at this, look at these numbers, man. RiuT 60 military. He lost like 5 units in that fight there. 8th Wonder lost about 30. And the Jaguars just winning the day. And I wonder, what RiuT is thinking right now. I just wonder what he's thinking. 8th Wonder calling GG. And what started off as a really promising game. What started off as a really promising game kind of just went very tits up very quickly once RiuT managed to mass those Jaguars, and 8th Wonder stayed very stubborn in wanting to continue to produce champions. I'm really surprised by that decision. Very surprised. I mean, he started 730 gold at the end of that game. Still reluctant to switch into Arbalest. I mean, maybe I'm missing something here. Maybe it's just not as simple as making some Arbalest, but surely I mean, surely just, I mean, even 10 Arbalest behind the champions would have been able to allow him to do a lot more damage. I mean, ultimately, matched Arbalest are going to be very strong. Bear in mind, though, if he was to go Arbalest, it still would be very easily counterable. RiuT could have gone Onager very quickly there. He obviously had a very large economy at the end of that game with 2,200 gold and 1,000 food. But still, yeah, a little disappointed for 8th Wonder because I feel like he had that game in the palm of his hand. He had a fantastic start to that game. He really played very nicely, but it just fell apart. And I feel pretty sad about that because I thought that was going to be his win there. And I was kind of rooting for him in that game because I kind of wanted to see this game go to 4 games. It might still, though. I mean, it could still go. It could still go to 4. Well, so far it's 2-0 to RiuT, and we're going to go to the 3rd game in just a moment now, which is going to be RiuT's home map. Goodness me, though.